Hello dear readers and subscribers. An art form that used to be in the far periphery of fine arts and only occasionally found its way into contemporary art in the second half of the 20th century has become one of the trending artistic disciplines, textile art. As a result, in this video we will define this art form, also briefly discuss its history with its four main pioneers, followed by a recital of four more artists, but artists who are leading this trending art form today. Textile art is an artistic discipline in which natural or synthetic fibers are used to construct contemporary artworks, encompassing sculptures, installations, and wall objects, in the form of tapestries, weaving, embroidery, knitting, and crocheting. In the 1960s and 70s, with the arrival of a new postmodern era in which it was also marked by merging so-called popular culture or low art with high art. Think of pop artists that include billboards, advertising, or popular icons. Annie Albers, Fred Sandbeck, Louise Bourgeois, and Judith Scott, among others, pioneered textile art as a contemporary art form. Born in 1899 in Berlin, Annie Albers started her studies in weaving at the Bauhaus in 1922 before using that arts and crafts background to integrate avant-garde geometric abstractions with weaving for the very first time in history. Albers was strongly influenced by pre-Columbian textiles, resulting in her pictorial weavings of the 1950s. Up to this day, South American history and weaving will continue to function as a cradle of inspiration, resulting in a large number of South American artists leading this trend today, merging their roots and history with contemporary art. Born in 1943 in Bronxville, New York, Fred Sandbeck used acrylic yarn or elastic cords to elaborate on the phenomenological experience of space and volume. Sandbeck stretched single strands of yarn point to point to create geometric figures and shapes as near intangible objects. The precise and subtle delineations of pictorial planes and architectural volumes made him one of the most important minimal artists alongside the likes of Donald Judd, Sol LeWitt, Dan Flavin or Carl Andre. His ingenious, singular and minimal formal vocabulary redefined sculpture and also introduced fabrics as a medium to create full-scale and site-specific installations and sculptures. A pioneering act that paved the way for the significant amount of textile installation artists working today. Born in 1911 in Paris, France, fabric played an essential role in Louise Bourgeois' life. Her parents had a tapestry restoration workshop, and as a child, she helped with various tasks, ranging from restitching to wringing water out of the fabric when washing it. Bourgeois' oeuvre is marked by psychological repair, intertwining personal trauma and experiences with her multidisciplinary practice, including fabric artworks in the form of, for instance, abstract fabric drawings, creating environments known as cells filled with household items such as clothes, tablecloths, napkins or bed linen, up to even sculptural figures with a twisted head, as she dreamt of wringing the neck of her father's mistress as she wrung the water out of the washed fabric with a twisting motion. With Bourgeois, the power of the domestic nature of fabric and the connection of textile with personal memories was illustrated, leaving a lasting mark and influence on the up-and-coming art form of textile art. To conclude, one must also mention the work of Judith Scott, born with Down syndrome in 1942 in Columbus, Ohio. She redefined the use of yarn and textile in combination with found objects to create powerful sculptures, as every object is palpably charged by an intense and generative act of wrapping and binding the found object, concealing it, but also solidifying it and bounding it in an unbound manner. As a result, her works exude a sense of mystery and a contemporary freshness and aesthetic appeal that is clearly echoed in today's textile sculptures. Now, having discussed some of the most important pioneers of textile art, it is time to have a closer look at the landscape of textile art today. We start with Cecilia Vicuña, born in 1948 in Santiago, Chile, working and residing between Santiago and New York. who is a contemporary artist and activist whose work intertwines ancient indigenous knowledge with contemporary issues. Her artistic practice serves as both a critique of unchecked capitalism and environmental degradation and a call to collective activism. Vicunia's work is deeply rooted in her Chilean heritage and the traumatic context of her exile during the military coup in the 1970s. Vicunia's art is renowned for its integration of traditional Andean cultural elements, particularly through her ongoing series of works called Precarios and Gipus. The Precarios combine natural and synthetic materials to form delicate spatial poems that reflect on fragility and impermanence. Shiharu Shiota, born in 1972 in Osaka, Japan, is a renowned contemporary artist who has been based in Berlin since 1997. Shiota's practice is characterized by her innovative use of woven yarn to create installations, often monumental in scale, that incorporate elements of performance and body art. Her work focuses on themes such as temporality, movement, and dreams, engaging viewers on both a physical and emotional level. Shiota's multifaceted approach to art often transforms spaces into visually compelling environments in which the spectator has to navigate and experience her web-like structures firsthand. Up next we have Sheila Hicks, born in 1934 in Hastings, Nebraska, working and residing in Paris, France. Hicks has been recognized as a leading figure working in textile and is perhaps best known for her more monumental works, showcasing her mastery of scale and color through striking installations. Her fascination with the textile practices of pre-Incan cultures led her to explore weaving, using a loom she constructed from tree branches and painting stretchers. Hicks' art, whether vast or intimate, speaks to a blend of tactility, sensuality, and intellectual engagement, reflecting her belief in the inseparable connection between passion, intellect, and the physical act of making. To conclude, Otobang Nkanga, born in 1974 in Kano, Nigeria, residing and working in Antwerp, Belgium, is a renowned multidisciplinary artist working in drawing, installation, photography, sculpture and performance, but also tapestries. Her work often addresses the concept of land as a place of non-belonging, providing a nuanced perspective on identity and societal structures. Nkanga is known for her innovative use of textiles, among other mediums, to delve into themes such as the commodification of nature and the interconnectedness of land, culture, and community. Her artworks frequently incorporate materials that highlight the socio-economic and historical narratives tied to their origins, reflecting on how these elements converge in the landscape of modern global exchange.
Now, these were only 4 artists, but perhaps the 4 most important artists for textile art today. But in a complete article on textile art, we have also included 6 more, providing 10 contemporary artists in textile art. So if you're interested in discovering the works of Joanna Schneider, Gabriel Dow, Maria Abaddon, Sarah Zapata, and Tanya Aguniga, feel free to read the complete online article next. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Feel free to watch our video on the contemporary art trend of mark making next. Support us on Patreon and please consider subscribing to stay posted for more contemporary art. Bye.